decided to get down to Toronto to test out the all-new iPhone 15 Pro in different content use cases. In this video, I want to show you the potential that the iPhone 15 Pro brings for filmmakers, short-form content creators, photographers, and vloggers. This video may find the answer to a commonly asked question: what is the best beginner content creator camera? If you remember from my first iPhone 15 Pro video, I mentioned that I got the 128GB version. And you may know the iPhone 15 Pro does not record ProRes log unless you plug in an SSD. Now, I know I made a mistake buying the 128GB version, but I found a way to record ProRes log without the use of SSD, which we'll talk about in a minute. For the filmmaking section of the video, I want to highlight a brand that was kind enough to send me their iPhone filmmaking accessories. Freewell sent me an anamorphic lens, a macro lens, an ND and mist filter, along with a recording trigger. Now, I did use these tools for the cinematic intro, and for rest of the shoot, I kept my ND filter on to keep my shutter double my frame rate. This package also comes with this case that allows you to attach all the lenses if you want to use them. And for this day, I didn't bring the recording trigger with me as I want to keep things light and small. Now you may wonder, how did you set your shutter speed double your frame rate on the iPhone? There's a secret. Well, it's not a secret, a lot of people know about it, but I'd like to talk about it in this video. I use the Blackmagic app to record my cinematic videos on my iPhone 15 Pro. With the Blackmagic app, you can record in phone rather than using an SSD with the 128GB models, which is awesome. You can set your shutter speed, change ISO, use all kinds of professional monitoring tools like focus peaking. This app literally turns your iPhone into a cinema camera. And I'm so happy about the workaround that enables me to store footage in camera rather than SSD. That is as much as my storage allows, of course. For all the cinematic video shooters, you may be wondering, how is the stabilization and how good is the iPhone 15 Pro footage for color grading? I think the iPhone 15 Pro provides an exceptional stabilization, minus the IBIS wobble you get with all the Pro cameras. Even at 3x zoom, it's just so smooth. Now, I'm a big fan of shaky footage, that's more of my style, but cinematography is about knowing where a shaky and a stable footage fits in. Now, how does ProRes log color grade? I color grade on Final Cut. In this video, I'm gonna color grade in a way that's more heavy to push the limits a little bit. Color grading has really impressed me with the iPhone 15 Pro. Some video files from certain cameras feel very limiting, but iPhone 15 Pro footage feels like an empty canvas for me to shape and design a tone for my liking. I'm really able to push this phone to the levels I want, but your levels could be very different, so you gotta test and see. Now, what kind of filmmaker is the iPhone 15 Pro for? I would say, in my opinion, iPhone 15 Pro or 15 Pro Max is good for all levels of filmmakers. If you're a beginner, it's an affordable way to learn and get your hands on log footage while having different focal lengths, all in one device. But it's also great for advanced filmmakers and professionals. Now, I'll be honest, I also run my own production company, and I can't imagine showing up to a high-budget shoot with an iPhone. That would be kind of funny. However, in most cases, it will be fine on a technical level when you think about it. I would use this phone for any use for my YouTube channel, or as a filler content for professional work, and sometimes even as a B-cam for interviews. And with controlled lighting and a consistent environment, no one can tell the footage is coming from an iPhone. Now, there are also huge misses for filmmakers on the iPhone 15 Pro, and I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of annoying. We have all these insane features like 10-bit ProRes log video, a great form of stabilization, but no proper camera controls. Apple really needs to give us pro camera controls. I would love to shoot on my iPhone camera app directly rather than using other apps. Can't control shutter, there are no audio level or no monitoring tools. So I believe it's a lacking department, and I hope that we'll get an improved camera app. For me, the camera app does not match up to the standards of the camera features itself. So we talked about what filmmaking looks and feels like on the iPhone 15 Pro. But there are those who don't care about things like log shooting or shutter speed. There are times I personally simplify what I do, and for all of my short form content, I shoot vertical. Let's give an example of a case scenario to short form content category. Alex does a lot of videos that is a lot like lifestyle short form content along with long form, of course. I wanted to do a mock lifestyle video with her. No log, nothing fancy, and just edit on the iPhone. And this is what that looks like. When I think of a couple of the things that short form content creators need from a camera or a phone camera is how good the footage is stabilized, how discreet is your camera, and how the performance is on the phone when editing. A lot of content creators rather shoot with their phone because people simply don't stare at you when you film with your phone. Phones are small, discreet, and can do anything that content creator requires. The action mode alone on the iPhone 15 Pro is worth it. Like, look at that stabilization. Because of the size and quality factor, I'd be confident in creating most of my social media content with the iPhone 15 Pro. So we talked about filmmakers and short form content creators. What about photographers?
Hello.
For me, having a device with me that captures photos to a standard is a must. And my standard is not the amount of megapixels. It's about sensor quality and raw shooting capability. I always believe that a photo or a video is not about what you shoot it with. It's about what you shoot or the story you want to tell. I believe in that now and will always believe in that. But it really doesn't hurt to tell good stories with a better quality, especially on a small device. For me, photography has become more of an everyday thing. I want to create nice photos wherever I am without having to carry all the large camera gear, including different lenses, SD cards, batteries. Of course, there are times for that, but for everyday use, I want something like the iPhone 15 Pro. What I love about the iPhone 15 Pro's photography capability is that it shoots raw. And because of that, I have a blast editing shots like these. A new camera criteria for phones should be able to produce photos that look accurate in colors and also allow you to dive deep into editing those photos, pushing different limits. iPhone 15 Pro photos look good and accurate straight out of the camera. As a bonus, with raw shooting, it allows you to edit those shots to your liking or whatever fits your needs. My needs are consistency in photos on my Instagram, and iPhone 15 Pro solves that. I actually took the train going to Toronto for the first time. So I decided to wrap up the day and train back home. I never take the train in Canada. I always drive everywhere. But today I had so much work to get done. And plus I wanted to shoot this video. So I thought if I train for an hour, I can get a lot of work done rather than being stuck in traffic for a couple hours one way. Towards the end of the shoot, my phone was literally on 4%. And this is after about 3 hours of shooting photo and video. Keep in mind, I shot some content onto my iPhone, but majority of the footage was recorded onto my Samsung T7 SSD, so the phone was constantly working. So I've actually been editing some of the shots that we shot yesterday. They mostly look great, but the one note that I have about the iPhone 15 Pro camera for photography, even video actually, you need to know its limitations before expecting too much from it. For example, not only iPhone cameras, but a cell phone camera won't be able to give you that original bokeh you get out of an actual camera. You see, bokeh, which is the blurry background, is caused by aperture. Lower your aperture is, the more blur you will have on your background. So apertures like 1.2, 1.4, 1.8 are great for bokeh. What cell phones do is a software tweak. It's nothing physical which is needed for real bokeh. So what cell phone bokeh does is actually, it just puts like a Gaussian blur around you and calls it a bokeh. So I believe that is the weakness of cell phone cameras. And the shots that I've shot with the iPhone 15 Pro are great for urban photography, architectural, auto, and maybe just some wider style portrait shots. So in my opinion, that is the weakness of cell phone cameras. The fake bokeh looks bad. Okay, can anyone relate to the city living experience? There's some kind of work going on there. There's a big construction down there, and then there's a big construction down there. It's not fun. I just watched that clip and wow, it is stable. I can't believe that. It's like a gimbal. Thank you for watching me take my iPhone 15 Pro through different types of content creation. Today we tested the iPhone 15 Pro on filmmaking, short form content, photography, and just light vlogging at the end there. I am loving what this phone can do, and I kind of feel bad calling it a phone. If you have any questions about the iPhone 15 Pro, go ahead and drop them down below. My name is Barry Salkis. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.